All right, let's just jump right into this because what a game we have to break down today. This is one of those classic Big 12 tournament quarterfinals, a showdown between TCU and Kansas that went right down to the absolute wire. We're talking about a finish so tense, so dramatic, it literally had everyone holding their breath. You know, this one quote from the broadcast, right in those final frantic seconds, it says everything you need to know. The entire game, with all the huge runs, the big-time shots, the coaching chess match, it all came down to a single possession. So how on earth do we get to this heart-stopping moment? Well, let's rewind and break it all down.
So, the stage is set. We're at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City. It's the quarterfinals of the Big 12 men's basketball tournament. And the stakes? They couldn't be higher. You win, you're on to the semis. You lose, and your conference championship hopes are completely gone. You can just imagine the electricity in that building. And the matchup itself had that classic, almost storybook feel to it. On one side, you've got the 6th seed, the TCU Horned Frogs. They're the underdogs, and they are hungry for a huge tournament win. And on the other side, the 3rd-seeded Kansas Jayhawks, led by the legendary Bill Self, playing in front of what was, let's be honest, basically a home crowd. And right from the tip, the game started exactly how you'd expect a high-stakes tournament game to start. It was tight, it was physical, and it was loud. You know, it was really a feeling-out process for both squads. Neither team could manage to build any kind of lead. They were just trading blows. Kansas was getting some early buckets from guys like Tiller, while Melvin Council Jr. for TCU was already making his mark, showing off some really crafty moves to the hoop.
But here's the thing about this game. It wasn't just some tight, back-and-forth contest. No, this game was defined by these massive, almost violent swings in momentum. I mean, just when you thought one team had finally taken control, the other would come roaring right back and completely flip the script. At one point, Kansas just hit a wall. Their energy completely vanished, they got a little lazy, and Coach Bill Self was having absolutely none of it. For a coach like him, maximum effort is just not negotiable. So he calls a timeout, and he is furious, just trying to light a fire under his team and wake them up from this slump. But the timeout, it backfired. I mean, it backfired spectacularly, because it was TCU that came out of that break looking like a completely different team. In the second half, the Horned Frogs just exploded, going on this monster 18-3 run that left the pro-Kansas crowd completely stunned and put TCU firmly in the driver's seat. But just when it looked like TCU was about to pull away and maybe even run away with it, Kansas found their hero. Melvin Council Jr. basically decided, nope, we are not going down like this. He just took over the entire game, playing with this infectious energy that lifted his whole team and frankly the entire arena right along with him. And of course, the announcers were all over it. This quote says it perfectly. Council was suddenly everywhere. He was diving for loose balls, pushing the ball up the court, making unbelievable plays. He wasn't just scoring points. He was the spark plug, the engine that really powered this incredible Kansas comeback and got them right back in the game. So now, with the game hanging in the balance, it stopped being about team runs and started being about individual stars taking over. You know, this is that moment in a game where the best players decide to put the team on their back and just go make a play when it matters most. For TCU, that guy was Darian Peterson. The announcers called him a sniper for his shooting, and he was a threat every time he touched the ball. He hit this gorgeous floater in the lane and then pulled off what the broadcast called a nasty move to get himself open. And as you're about to see, he was completely unafraid of the big moment. And for Kansas, their anchor down low was their big man, Ernest Uday Jr., who goes by Punch. And he was an absolute force of nature in the paint. He was finishing through all kinds of contact, getting multiple and-one plays, and just giving Kansas that powerful interior scoring they desperately needed to keep up. And look, in a game this close, sometimes you just need a little bit of luck, and TCU got a huge dose of it on this wild shot from Tiller Pierre. The ball literally seemed to circle the rim forever, ring around the rosy, as the announcer perfectly called it, before it finally dropped in. It was one of those shots where you just think, maybe it really is TCU's night. So after everything, the huge runs, the stars trading incredible shots, the lucky bounces, it all came down to this, the final 2 minutes. Every single dribble, every pass, every shot was now under a microscope. The game was going to be won or lost right here, right now. Okay, so we're under a minute left and TCU has the ball with the game tied. The crowd is just roaring. You can see Bill Self on the sideline frantically directing his defense, trying to will his guys to get the one stop they absolutely, positively have to have. The pressure in that building was just immense. With the game on the line, TCU does the smart thing. They put the ball in the hands of their star, Darian Peterson. The whole play is designed to create just a split second of defensive confusion. With the shot clock screaming down, Peterson gets his defender one-on-one, hits him with a perfect spin move, he puts it up, and he drills it. An unbelievable clutch bucket to give TCU the lead with under 30 seconds to go. So now, everything is flipped. It's Kansas that's trailing. The clock is now their biggest enemy. They've got one possession to answer, one chance to save their tournament lives. And the noise in that arena is just deafening as they bring the ball up the court for what could be the final play of their season. And in the chaos that follows, Kansas gets the ball down the court, the defense is scrambling to get set, and the ball somehow finds its way to their dominant big man, Punch. But he's not under the basket, he's out on the three-point line. He lets it fly, and he got it. A shocking, improbable three-pointer from their center to give Kansas the lead right back. The place just went insane.
After that miracle shot, TCU has one last gasp, but they just can't get a clean look. The clock is just bleeding away. At this point, their only option is a strategic one. They have to foul immediately, stop the clock, and send a Kansas player to the free throw line, just praying for a miss to get one more chance. So they foul Elmarko Jackson.
Oh, but they fouled the wrong guy. The absolute wrong guy. Coming into this moment with the entire weight of the game on his shoulders, Elmarko Jackson had already made 9 free throws in a row. He steps to the line with ice in his veins and calmly sinks another one. A perfect 10 for 10 from the line to seal the game. Just unbelievable. TCU did manage to get one final desperation heave up at the buzzer, but it just rims out. The horn sounds, and Kansas survives. They just pour onto the court, this mix of pure elation and absolute relief. They've fought their way back from the brink, and they are moving on to the semifinals. What an incredible, incredible basketball game. And you know, all of that leaves us with this one question. When you think about the massive momentum swings, the incredible star performances from Peterson and Council, and a final minute that was just packed with clutch, game-changing shots, you really have to wonder, was this the best, most thrilling game of the entire Big 12 tournament? I'll let you be the judge.